Mr. Pixels, you talked about flowery language, which was interesting to me because you said that an actor was talking about shipping characters, and the thing is that we've actually had a writer who's confirmed the sexuality of an individual, and in fact, I would say this is pandering to an audience. I bring an exhibit here, whatever number it is. Star Wars writer confirms that Donald Glover's character is pansexual in Solo. Yeah, I mean, right there in bold letters.
I mean, first of all, this was not in the film. It can be implied. It can be implied, but that's my first take. Second of all, I don't see an issue with a space smuggler, with his personality being a bi or whatever that word means. I feel like this would be a very common thing in the galaxy. I don't have a problem with it. You may have to make an argument against it. I just don't see the issue.
No argument there on the in the part of whether or not a character could, should, or would be. That's not the point here, Mr. Pixels. The point you tried to make, though, while accusing the prosecution of flowery language, was that Disney was not guilty of this very thing that they're doing right here in this article that you said that they weren't doing. And in fact, I have another exhibit here where you claimed that Rey and Ben had no sort of romantic relationship. I don't know about you, but if you Skype with somebody as long as they did through the Force, that sure does feel like there's a relationship. And I think this here says everything it needs to say.
Do you know what this says to me, Mr. Prosecutor? This says, I feel bad that you're dying. I'm going to give you one last little gift before you die.
I don't know. I think that's up to the jury for interpretation here. This kid seems very romantic to me. But that's just my opinion, I guess. So,
may I
the other point I wanted to make was, I guess, to Dr. Gordo did say one thing that made sense to me, I guess. And that was the audience leaving the franchise. So I bring another exhibit in here again. I believe I shared this before, but I reestablished this exhibit, and that is the box office take of the Star Wars sequel trilogy, going from $2.069 billion down to $1.078 billion, ostensibly losing half of the audience. If you want to share that image, you can. That's up to you guys.
Oh, sorry.
Yep, that's all right.
Got it.
There you go. So just for a visual aid there, but yes, I think that says all it has to say about driving the fans away.
But also, let me add just one more image from The Force Awakens. Let me pull it up here.
I would say I agree.
Of The Force Awakens, featuring a same-sex kiss as the rebellion.
Oh my goodness! What an act of terrorism! We might as well just bunker.
Objection, Your Honor, to that.
Horrible.
If I could just, Mr. Ng, I need to correct you on that. That is from the ending of The Rise of Skywalker, sir.
Was that Rise of Skywalker or was that Force Awakens?
It was Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker.
Okay.
That was Rise of Skywalker, correct. That was the end of the entire franchise.
Mr. Ng, I expect you to do a better job at your homework when
attending.
These
movies just blur together for me. I'm sorry.
Okay.
May I address the court?
I do agree with that as well. The movies are a blur, not very memorable.
Mr. Daniel, you had a comment, please.
Yes, I do. I want the jury to recognize what's happening right now. I believe I did address the charge, the flagrant, poorly constructed stories that do not appeal to a wide audience. This idea that Rey and Finn and Poe and the relationship, this is all the nerd minutia. This is supposed to take place in a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. It's the mythical dimension. This has nothing to do with whatever Gordo was saying and anybody else is saying. This is about how do you destroy and cut off half the audience? You destroy the hero's journey. You destroy the classical mythos. If you want to create another product that goes against what Lucas gave us from 1 through 6, 2/3 of a product, and then you want to go take it somewhere else, that's totally fine. But if you're wondering why the audience is divided in half, if you wonder why people are turning away and then being called names for it, it's because you're going against the classical myth that Lucas gave us. All this arguing that Lofty just gave and whatever Gordo just did is the nerd minutia. This is not what we should be talking about. Star Wars matters, and when you destroy classical characters that mean something to people, where they sing John Williams, they want to dress up like Luke, They want to embody their wisdom of Yoda and go about their lives and try to be better people. That is what I think this charge is referring to. And when you destroy the bark, the root of something, everything else being debated, what the Reylos, the this, the that has nothing to do with it. This is about Star Wars matters.
I will just
Finn and Poe having an almost relationship is such nerd minutia. This is a mythical dimension, long time ago, galaxy far, far away, not Earth 2023. Nothing to do with it.
I am simply saying, if Disney was intending to divide the fan base on purpose and side with a specific version, a specific side of the fan base, they would have gone much further with it.
No, you do that by destroying classical Greek characters. You do that by destroying the myth.
Well, the myth is not destroyed. The original trilogy still exists, sir. No, and Luke's journey ends. Luke's journey ends with a defiant sacrificial death, and I don't know how much more powerful of an ending you can have.
Who's sacrificial death?
Luke Skywalker.
That's how you see that Episode 9 ended. It wasn't focused on Rey.
No, I'm saying Luke Skywalker's journey ends with him defiantly sacrificing his life.
That's what Lucas gave us. The charge is Disney has destroyed the mythos that
Disney gave us this in The Last Jedi.
Yeah, that was not a sacrificial death, even comparable to what Lucas gave us.
I think the jury would disagree.
He literally phoned it in, sir.
He wasn't even
literally died. He literally died in sacrificing a myth. That's okay. You're entitled to your opinion. You're entitled.
Excuse me, Pixels.
Yes,
the jury, I've been monitoring the jury's comments. The jury would like to hear from Mr. Johnson. And Mr. Johnson, I want to remind you that Mr. Johnson is here. He takes no side. He is not on the side of the prosecution. Mr. Johnson is not on the side of the defense. He is here to... so perhaps we can hear from Mr. Johnson on the last comment.
I mean... He literally sacrifices himself at the end of the movie. This is kind of a stupid hill to die on, I think.
It is. It is. I agree, Mr. Johnson. Mr. Zer. I'm sorry, Zim. I agree, Zim.
I mean, take your break. It's okay.
Mr. Zum, may I ask you a question, Mr. Ryan?
Yes, please.
Do you believe in good? Do you believe in good versus evil?
Look. The goal is never to divide or make people upset. But, I do think the conversations that are happening are going to have to happen at some point if Star Wars is going to grow and move forward and stay vital. I mean, George Lucas made a gorgeous 7-hour-long movie for children about entitlement and fear of loss that turns good people into fascists. And, he did it while spearheading in every early technical difficulty of modern filmmaking of the past 30 years.
Mr. Johnson, if I may, you said George Lucas made a 7-hour movie for children. Do children have money?
No.
Okay, but parents have money, right? And they buy toys for children. Would you say your film has anything in it that would make a child want to go out and buy a toy? Or have their parents buy them a toy, I should say?
BB-8, Your Honor. BB-8, Your Honor.
That's from Force Awakens, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's also in The Last Jedi, but I'm sorry.
As an auteur, I can't say that my heart is in selling toys. And perhaps I was not the best choice for that aspect of the lore building. But I think I added a lot of thoughtful aspects to the proceedings.
No more questions, Your Honor. I believe that the defense and Mr. Johnson are just doing everything they can to make our case today. I mean, this is...
Luke is, in fact, 100% consistent with his character. Not the way he's described in marketing blurbs, but his actual, based on his words and actions, character from the original trilogy. I'll be at the bar if you need me.